I want to talk to you about nonfiction versus fiction and this Iran versus Israel conflict. I, of course, am Joshua Lisec. This is Daily Persuasion. I am the New York Times bestselling author and co-author, a ghostwriter of now 100 nonfiction books as of last Friday at about 5:31-ish Eastern Time. I'm also a certified hypnotist. Through this unique set of experiences, I teach you how to better influence the VIPs of your life and career. We'll talk about Iran versus Israel and those strikes and that conflict in a moment. It's about the importance of narrative and that reality has gone from Newtonian, as my friend Michael Gimmerin likes to say, to quantum, where your location is everything. Your location is everything. Last night, as of this recording, I was at a Chamber of Commerce event, and people were peppering me with questions, as they regularly do, about book publishing and how the sausage is made, so to speak. I like to joke that I'm a literary mercenary, and so I'm able to generally, in an unbiased way, share what it's really like inside of the industry. And one of the individuals had mentioned that he had recently purchased a celebrity memoir, and I related to him that nowadays, commercial fiction is written like nonfiction, meaning it is written as if it is true and actually happened. That's the frame of reference. If you open it up, and whether it's first person or third person, the best fiction nowadays is written like it's a play-by-play or a documentary or commentary. Just simply open it up. I'm serious. Go to any bookstore, pick any book, and pick it up, and you realize, oh, it is written as if it is serious and literal and is something that in fact really happened, with all of the plausibility present. This is key, the plausibility. Now, nonfiction, on the other hand, it's all written like it's fiction. I recently picked up a book on Native Americans, whom we're now correctly identifying as Siberian Americans. Hence, that's where they're from. You know, if you're originally from Ireland and you come here in 1844, 1845, well, what do we call you? Well, you're an Irish American, right? Even to this day, there are populations of Irish Americans. Or if you originally immigrate from Kenya, then you'd be a Kenyan American, right? The hyphen action. Israeli American, of course, those so-called indigenous peoples, where are they originally from? Well, they're from Siberia. Go look at Siberians today. They look a little bit more Asian than Native Americans, but if you compare them side by side, you'll go, wait a second, which one's the Indian, American Indian? Oh, I get it now. These are the Siberian Americans. And depending on who you ask, they've also intermarried over the centuries or millennia with anyone from Pacific Islanders to the Phoenicians to the lost tribes of Israel. Maybe all three of those. But a lot of that genetic information, of course, is gone due to the various diseases and carnage of one tribe attacking another. I say all this because I recently saw a book about this Native American history written from the indigenous people's perspective. There was a land acknowledgement on the cover of the book. Something about how this book was printed at a company that was like, you know where I'm going with that, right? It's a little bit gross because, of course, it's the ancestral land of this group. Okay, well, that group actually butchered, murdered, and otherwise botched the existence of the previous group who existed, the previous group. I saw a land acknowledgement at the Glacial Grooves State Park on Kelly's Island up on Lake Erie. And the land acknowledgement had something like 35 tribes in it. And read a certain way, you realize, wait a second, this tribe completely massacred and genocided the previous tribe who did that to the other previous tribe. Why are we saying it's all of their ancestral lands? How old does it have to be? And so the argument begins to fall apart quickly. This book that I read about Native American history, it had no citations at all. And it purported to be a historical nonfiction book. 0 citations, 0 sources. It read like fiction, like a novel. That's the reality. However, if you are, let's say, someone who grows up on a Native American reservation in, let's say, Oklahoma, the Wyandotte people, I do have some Wyandotte ancestry myself. if you grow up in that and your, let's say, worldview is one based on grievances against the United States federal government and various states and Euro-American characters, and you feel that your lot in life is not great, then guess what? Everything that I've just dissed is, in fact, your reality, because reality is now local. Location is everything. So when we look out at stories like Iran versus Israel, if you are a Persian living in, let's say, Orange County, California, you speak Farsi, you and all your family, your perspective on the matter might be rather different from someone who is, let's say, a Jewish individual, perhaps some Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry, living in New Jersey or living in Israel proper. Depending on your location and the location of, let's say, your ancestry, your worldview, your job, career, economic prospects, your reality is completely different. This is why one of the most persuasive things that we can do to hold credibility and to assert credibility is to say, I have no sides to take here. Saying something like, I add nothing to the conversation by taking a side. I posted the meme of Ken Watanabe from Let Them Fight. You might have seen that meme before, Let Them Fight. Jack Posobiec on X asked something like, which is your, let's say, opinion on the matter? Or what do you think about the Iran versus Israel conflict? And I did a quote post of that with the image of Ken with a custom wearing a MAGA hat. Let them fight. That's my perspective on the matter. I don't need to take sides and jump in and start rooting for anybody. And this is the issue with mass immigration, is when we import the developing world, we import the conflicts of the developing world, which is, of course, why the New York City Police Department is going off about how they're monitoring the situation and the various unrest that they're expecting over subsequent days as a result of the Israeli so-called decapitation strikes on the Iranian leadership, sort of the occupying regime of the Persian people. Now, when you word it that way, it sounds very different, doesn't it? If I say the Iranian government, the Iranian people, but if I say the Iranian occupying regime that have harmed the Persian people, just the introduction of the word Persian people, Persia, the Persian language, Farsi, it changes because it moves your location in the story and who you identify with. John Robb calls this fictive kinship, where if you say we, us, our, those sorts of language, and you can then make yourself feel like you're with those people, that they're on your side and you're on their side. You need to advocate for them. The America First perspective means we got to take care of ourselves first, all of our problems that we got. We don't necessarily need to go taking sides. We can acknowledge, I certainly can acknowledge, using the word acknowledge again, that a territory belongs to the organization and the people that can hold it. That's just how it has been through history. So I'm not going to run and do a pity party for Native Americans in the same way that I wouldn't for Palestine, okay, or for Gaza. Territory is owned by the organized people who is able to take and hold it. That is the most location independent yet location dependent understanding of the matter. That's why the migrant invasion in the United States is such a problem, because there are territories that are being overran and held by foreign occupying peoples. That's a problem. Sounds like they could use a little bit of daily persuasion.